got?
The two Bridget Jones movies, which started in 2001 with Bridget Jones's Diary, have made over $540 million at the worldwide box office and is preparing to return to the big screen again. According to a report in Deadline, Grey's Anatomy star Patrick Dempsey is now in final negotiations to appear in the third film titled Bridget Jones'S Baby, which sees Renee Zellweger reprising the title role along with Colin Firth as love interest Mark Darcy. Actor Hugh Grant, who appeared in the first two films, is not returning for the third. Shooting on the film is set to begin within the month. Mark Byers, Patrick Dempsey, and Bridget Jones's Baby.
Well, as this panel's authority on all things Bridget Jones, yes, I could. Yeah, I'll buy Patrick Dempsey in this movie for sure. It's adding another level of talent and another draw to a movie that's already built in property that people love. The first two movies did very well. They have their audience, their fan base, and Patrick Dempsey is a guy who fits perfectly in that fan base from his days on Grey's Anatomy. So yeah, it makes total sense from that standpoint. The fact that they're making another one of these movies, there's some circumstances that I'm not sure how they're going to address and that we were talking about right before we went to air, but Bridget Jones'S Baby, yeah, it makes sense. It's going to be later. She's at a different point in her life, so I could be up for this, sure.
I've actually been a big Patrick Dempsey fan ever since he was in Can't Buy Me Love.
Of course, Ronald Miller.
Yeah, I loved that movie, and when his career was slow before Grey's Anatomy, I always used to get excited when we see him pop it. What was that one with Dustin Hoffman and Renee Zellweger about the outbreak? It might have actually just been called Outbreak. I thought he was really good, and that was a small role, but I really liked this. And years ago, when people first started talking about a Doctor Strange movie, I really firmly believe that he would have made a great Doctor Strange. Love who we got, totally love who we got, but I always thought he'd be good. The changes that Mark is alluding to, but so delicately doesn't actually want to say.
I just danced over with a little feather.
It's an interesting thing to bring up. I'm not saying anything positive or negative. Renee Zellweger doesn't look like Bridget Jones anymore. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic.
She doesn't look like Renee Zellweger anymore.
okay. Now you went further than I was going to say. Yeah, you're right.
I wanted you to lead off the hit, but yeah,
let's just say that Ray didn't take that picture from yesterday.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how the audience responds when her appearance has changed so much at this point. Again, not saying anything negative or positive about it. It's just that it's an interesting dynamic change. So it's going to be see how well that goes. But just as far as talking about Dempsey in it, I think this is a great addition. I think he would fit very well into this franchise. So for me, it's a buy.
Yeah, if we're buying the casting, absolutely a buy. Patrick Dempsey, like you said, anytime you see him pop up, he adds something to it. I hope that he's playing, because in the first one they had like the kind of the good guy and then the douchey guy. I hope he's playing the good guy, because we've seen him play the jerk a few times, and I think he plays better as the good guy. I think as the romantic lead, and I could see them having.
That's right. He was the bad guy in that one Transformers movie. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. That was horrible.
Yeah, and we've seen him do it, and I think that to see him in the romantic lead, that's what he does well, and so he always adds it. As far as the third one, I don't know why anyone needs a third one. I just don't. Yeah, you're right. They were popular years ago, but no one's seen Renee Zellweger in a long time. It seems like it's not like Stallone coming back and doing Rocky 6, or Arnold coming back and do another Terminator movie. This is a movie that was okay, did fine. So I don't know how.
No, but it also caught fire. Like, I think it's a cult hit too, and it's got it's got a huge demographic. It's the early 2000s.
Look at Entourage. Entourage was 2007. This show, and then it came out, didn't do well at all. What was the other one that just came out recently? And
but that's a TV show, transitioning into a movie that people weren't sure they ever wanted to see in the first place. Like, Bridget Jones, I think, has a huge fan base. My question is, wasn't Colin Firth? Who is he in the movie? Is he not with Bridget Jones? Is he just hanging out with her?
Oh yeah. He was the good guy.
Yeah, so I think you'll probably see Patrick Dempsey come in and be like the maybe the douchey younger guy that he's got to go against. So I'm not saying that personally it's going to appeal to my demographic, but I think there's totally an audience for this movie.
Yeah, I think it would be a mistake to underestimate the audience that the Bridget Jones movies had was a very faithful and very enthusiastic audience. And like we said, for the two movies made over $500 million worldwide combined. And I feel like that if Jurassic World had not been the hit that it was, like, wait a minute, we can go back to a property that's like over 10 years old, over 12 years old, and maybe recapture some of that magic. I know there's very little in common between Bridget Jones and Jurassic World. I understand that. But I think old properties that were completely beloved in their time, to come back and visit. You brought up nostalgia earlier. I think this is something that can work, and I think people will be interested in seeing it. But Maybe it's a train wreck.
Isn't I think Bridget Jones is like the Roadhouse for women, right? It's like that's their Roadhouse. Is they get together like guys? We like to watch Roadhouse and watch Swayze rip somebody's throat out. They like to get together and watch Renee Zellweger pretend to be a British girl.
Ashley just gave you're an idiot face.
But you know what? That is such a ridiculous yet
was that the face she was making?
It looks like
I get that face all the time.
She's doing her impression of Renee Zellweger through the years. Thank you.
Touche.